it's worth mentioning that square root extraction can happen either in the transmitter or the control system. We don't want it turned on both times. That's in the transmitter, in the control system. And here's why. Imagine if I had, again, 50% flow coming through the line. I would get 25% differential pressure. I'd only get a quarter of the pressure. If I had square root extraction on in the transmitter, I'd get 50% come out of the transmitter. And that's good, 50% out of the transmitter, directly proportional to the flow here. But if I had square root extraction turned on in the controller as well, what would happen is that 50% signal would reach the controller and it would square root it as well. So we'd get a square root of 0.5, which equals 0.707, 70.7% flow. So that's no good. The controller would be indicating 70.7. We don't want that at all. So we can have it on the controller, but it has to be turned off here in the transmitter. So there, we would get 25% out of the transmitter, 50% flow, 25% pressure, 25% coming out of the transmitter, square root it at the controller, and that's fine. We'd have our 50% at the controller there now. The square root, of course, of 0.25 again, which is 0.5. So that's worth noting. But we also can't have it not used altogether. If I had it off in the controller and off in the transmitter, well, 50% flow would only produce a quarter of the differential pressure, so it'd be 25% out. And the controller, if it was turned off in the controller as well, the square root extraction that is, it would also be indicating 25%. So it's either going to indicate 25% flow when it's really 50% flow if square root extraction isn't used. If it's used correctly, which is used once, well, 50% flow will be, square root extraction will be somewhere and it'll indicate it'll indicate the 50%. If it's used twice, well, what it does is it's square root, so 50% flow ends up being 70.7%, which is no good. Personally, in my own experience and where I worked in industry, we always tried to do it in the transmitter. That way, the signal leaving the transmitter on your cables is directly proportional to what's going on in your pipe. There's no confusion. What comes out of the transmitter is what is proportional to what's going down the pipe here.